play. Blue Jackets control it off that open face-off. Sending our end. Irons back. Play it. Sends it around towards Harp. It's by him. That shot's turned aside by Wyatt. Kept in the zone there by the Blue Jackets. Irons with it now. Send in. It's all the way around to Peyton, down the corner to Drayden. Pushes it on towards Hart. Peyton got a shot on that there, controlled by the Blue Jackets goalie. Smith over to Hank, back to Smith. Ross, shot turned aside by the goalie. Hank with it now. Smith tries to go far corner, picked up by the Blue Jackets, and they're coming our way. Send in. Kept in there by the Jackets. Good save by Wyatt. Chipped out by Gross. Gets past Hank. I think he got a finger on it there. No icing. Pressure by Ratcliffe and Walker. Puck comes out towards Hank in the far corner. Tried to drop it there. It was picked up by the Blue Jackets. Coming our way. Hank's able to poke that by the Blue Jackets defender. Makes a man miss. Lost the handle. Comes to Carson. Sent on around by the Blue Jackets. Cade sends that back down around to the other side. Gaka with a shot there. Got tangled up in Moses' jersey. Get an offensive zone face-off coming up. Puck came to Carson off the face-off. He got a shot off it. Blue Jackets defender got a stick on it. They've got the puck now. Send in RN. Wyatt tries to get that on around towards Carson, but the Blue Jackets intercepted that pass. Possession in RN now. Puck comes out of the zone off of Schuma's stick. No icing there. May have been off the Blue Jackets stick. Schuma battles in the near corner. Comes out to Ross. Sends it to the other side. Schuma there to play it. He reverses again. Castor and Ross in a battle now. Ross came out of there with it. Got tangled up again though. Here come the Blue Jackets. Drayden was able to get that up. Oh, that's Kirby, sorry. Ross and Castor, they sent it in, the Blue Jackets in, but they've got it now. Looks like we got a hook on the Blue Jackets here, so we'll head to the power play. Irons off the face-off, gets it over to Peyton, sent towards the net, and that is out of play. Brown with it now, sent far corner. Blue Jackets come out of that battle with it, and they're going to try to get it clear there. Irons kept it in the blue line. Moses with it, sent all the way around to Peyton. His pass is deflected, comes out of the zone. Irons gets it up to Brown. He's going to skate it in. We are offsides, but we missed that. The refs appear to be shorthanded. Brown with it now. Sent towards the net. It was blocked. And Blue Jackets get a clear there. Gaka gets that up towards Brown. That got by him. It's going to go for icing. Ross pounces on that puck off the face-off, chips it in. Will be the first there. Tied up in the corner. Puck came out to the slot. Blue Jackets there to get a stick on it. Forced back deep in our own end here. Blue Jackets will pull it back and kill some time here. Puck is in the zone. Ross there with it. Tied up behind the net. Even strength here. Blue Jackets coming our way. To get that up to Peyton. Gets it to Gross. His shot off the goalie's shoulder, I believe. Just over the crossbar. Ratcliffe now to Mullenkamp. Sent towards the net. It's going to be covered up by the goalie. Cade gets it up to Carson. Up towards Schuma. Couldn't handle it. Comes back to Carson. Skates it in. It's a shot off. It goes just wide. Puck comes around the Brought. Down to Schuma. On net. Turned aside by the goalie. Puck's forced deep there by Carson. He's knocked off of it. Comes around towards Shuma. Now back to Carson. Knocked off of it again. Brown gets it to Shuma. Blue Jackets. Played it out to the neutral zone. We sent it back in. Blue Jackets now gain possession coming our way. Shot goes off the crossbar and out of play. Shot is blocked by Gaka. Harp is past cross ice, hit a Blue Jackets defender, goes deep, and we didn't get a trip on Peyton. Blue Jackets with possession now in our zone. Pass was deflected by Irons. Wyatt covered that up, so we get a D-zone face-off coming up. Glove saved by Wyatt. Puck gets out of the zone there. Castor picks it up. He's got Noah coming with him. Shot deflected wide by the goalie. Castor picks it up. He's going to send it back towards the neutral zone. Blue Jackets will pick it up there and enter offsides, I believe. Hank comes out of there with it. He's going to send that in the Blue Jacket zone. They'll try to regroup. Send in our end. Gaka races to get there. Hank comes out of there with it. Blue Jackets back to retrieve it. Puck comes to Ellenberg there in the neutral zone. He sends it back in. Blue Jackets are offsides again. Ross gets that out to the neutral zone. Blue Jackets pick it up there. Have it taken away. Ellenberg gets it up towards Castor. Got by him. Blue Jackets now on their own end. Castor with pressure. Up comes to Ellenberg. He's going to send that in, hits Castor, so we're offsides. Carson's able to pick that loose puck up and force it in the Blue Jacket zone. Goes all the way around to Schumann now. He ships it back deep. Carson below the net. Up to Smith. Over to Irons. His shot off the goalie's blocker. Second shot was blocked there in front. Puck comes out and Blue Jackets have it. Shot goes high and wide. And Moses is able to pick that loose puck up. He's got Carson coming with him. Gets it over to Carson. He got a stick on it, and goalie slid over and made a good save. And the net's off, so we'll get offensive zone face-off coming up. Blue Jackets control that, send it out. That's going to trickle back to our end. Gross picks it up, gets it up to Peyton, chips it forward to Mannion, skates it in, gets it over to Hart, fed back towards Mannion. He could not quite reach that. Puck gets by Gross, he's tied up there, and Blue Jackets are able to send it in our end. Chase there to play it. Gets it up towards Hart. He peels back. Sends it back to Gross, below the goal line, up to Peyton. That pass is intercepted there in the neutral zone. Gross is able to separate the man in the puck back to the neutral zone. The Blue Jackets intercept another pass. Back in our end now, Chase with it. Over to Gross. He's going to send that way up in the air, back into the Blue Jacket zone. We're just going to get some changes. Back in our end, Smith to play it. Up to Hank, on to Ratcliffe. Gets around a man. Larson picks up that loose puck, gets it to Hank. His shot is blocked in front of the net there. His second shot blocked. Neither one got through. Smith gets a stick on there to keep it in. And I'm not sure what the stoppage is for. Puck came to Ratcliffe off that face-off. Tried to get his shot off, but he was tied up. Couldn't get much on it. Larson's going to pick the puck up there in the Blue Jacket zone. Gets it back to Smith. Over to Hank. Goes cross ice to Gaka. Plays it deep. Didn't get through. The Blue Jackets now coming our way. Wyatt will glove that puck. Leave it for Smith. Gets it up to Ratcliffe. Chips it around a man. Blue Jackets back to retrieve it though. Hank got a stick on that cross ice pass. Still gets deep. Near corner, Ratcliffe in a battle. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Sent back in. Got by Wyatt to the far corner there. Brody able to get a stick on it. Now Kirby's able to chip that out. Ross is racing to get there. Kirby picks it up, gets a shot off. Pad save by the goalie. Puck forced back deep there by Brody. Right on net there by the Blue Jackets. Turned aside by Wyatt. Ross with it now. Cross towards Castor. Couldn't get a handle on it. Sent back in our end by the Blue Jackets. Brody back to play it. Blue Jackets now with possession. And puck goes out of play. Irons. He sends it around towards Shima. Kept in the zone though by the Blue Jackets. Sent back deep. Irons there. Try the near wall. That puck does get out. Blue Jackets back to retrieve it. I don't know why that's not icing. Carson plays that forward, gets past Shuma, no icing that way either. Sent back in our end. Wyatt gets it over to Smith up towards Carson. Does come out of the zone. Backhand shot there on Wyatt. He's able to control that to get a defensive zone face-off coming up. Smith off that face-off, that shot hits Hart's stick and goes nowhere. That'll do it for the first. Blue Jackets will control that face-off. Sending our end. Cade back to play it. Gets up towards Drayden. Got by him. Sit back in. Our zone. Puck is loose there. Gaka racing to get a stick on it. Blue Jackets able to make a play on it, but once again they pick it up there. Send back deep. Gaka gets it up towards Peyton. He gets it on towards Drayden. Drayden sends it in. Cross ice there by the Blue Jackets. Couldn't connect. Ellenberg to Harp, cross towards Peyton, got by him. Goalie's going to make a play on it. Puck comes out to Brody. Sent back in the zone. We're offsides. Ratcliffe got that up to Hank. Briefly in the Blue Jacket zone. Back in our end now. Brody gets it across towards Irons. Gets it to Ratcliffe. Pass gets by Mannion. And Blue Jackets send it in our end. Wyatt gives that off to Mullenkamp. Hank with it now. Sends it in the Blue Jacket zone. Ross will pick it up. Drop that. Below the goal line. Blue Jackets come out of there with it. Hank with some pressure. He peels off to go to the bench. And Blue Jackets send that in deep. Ross in a corner battle. Gets a stick on it. Comes out to Ross. It's coming through the neutral zone. Sends it in. Castor will try to get there. Sends it on to Koenig. Gets it up to Gaka. Towards the net. Hit a skate. Went wide. Ross picks it up. Sends it down low to Castor. He's got a battle in the corner. Koenig there with him. Puck came out towards the slot. Played back deep though by the Blue Jackets. They come out of there with it. Now coming our way. Smith sends it on towards Ross. He's able to get a stick on it, and it comes out to the neutral zone. We got a couple changes happening. Blue Jackets are coming our way. Wow, we in trouble there. Carson with it now, up to Brown. Enters the zone. His shot is deflected. Kept in the zone there by Carson. Now it's cleared by the Blue Jackets. That's going to go for icing. Blue Jackets come out of there with it off the face-off. Pressure by Carson. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Broady's got it there, sends it forward, back into the Blue Jackets end. They picked it up there though. Try to get it clear. Brown keeps that in. Sent just wide of the net. Comes around the blue line. Broady got by him. And Blue Jackets coming our way. And the shot goes wide off the side of the net. Brought back in our end by the Blue Jackets. The shot's turned aside by Wyatt. Moses played the loose puck to the wall. Blue Jackets have picked it up there. Send that in, Blue Jackets in. Goalie's out to play it forward, and they are coming in all alone. Shot wide. A shot on that turned aside by Wyatt, I believe. Comes to Harp on the far wall. He's able to kick it up into the neutral zone, gets a stick on it into the Blue Jackets end. Larson gets it across to Mullenkamp. He comes in. Forced to the corner. Harp's got it now. Up towards Irons. Mullenkamp sends it deep. Harp circles around over towards Irons. His shot hit a skate. He's able to keep it in the zone there. Larson across to Mullenkamp. He's got room. His shot goes wide. That's going to come all the way out to the neutral zone. Irons picks it up. Forwards towards Collins, into the zone. Irons is coming at the net. The shot is knocked down there in front by the goalie. Peyton with it in a battle. Get a stoppage here, and offensive zone face. Out to the neutral zone, back and forth, sent in our end. Ross back to play it by Smith. Trying to get a slash here on the Blue Jackets, so we'll head to the power play. Irons gets a shot off there, controlled by the goalie. Puck comes to Irons, gets it over to Brown. Oh, shot off the post. Collins gets it back towards Irons, has it. Down to Harp, over to Peyton. His shot deflected. We're going to get a slash here on Harp. Peyton's going to send that forward. We're offsides. But comes the Gaka off that face-off forward to back to Ellenberg, forward towards Larson. Got by him. Goes for icing. Blue Jackets got a shot off there. I think it was blocked by Gaka. We'll send that for icing. Puck comes out of the zone. Blue Jackets have it in the neutral zone. Pull back to their own end. How do we send in for icing? I don't know why that was waved off. Brown with it now in the neutral zone. Gets it forward to Hank. Forced to the corner by the Blue Jackets. Shot goes wide. Shot is blocked by Irons. Played forward to Hank. He gets it to Castor. On out of the zone. Got tied up there in the snow though. Harp has to just send it in. Castor feeds it to Ross. His shot is in the back of the net. We got the Zan break coming at you. That was Ross from Castor from Harp, maybe? See y'all after the Zan break. back to Mullenkamp off the faceoff. He sends that in. Blue Jackets will send that for icing. Puck came to Harp off the faceoff. He got a shot off. It was blocked though. That shot from Mullenkamp is deflected and goes wide. Puck sent out of the zone by the Blue Jackets. Irons gets a stick on it there, but Blue Jackets are able to send it in. Iron in. Mullenkamp gets it around to Peyton, on to Larson. Send in the zone. Harp and Larson back and forth. Peyton gets involved now. Comes out of the corner with it. Down to Larson, up to Harp. Couldn't get a handle on it. Ross gets it up to Peyton. On into the zone, we're offsides. Carson comes out of there with it off the face-off. Gets it to Smith, sent towards the net. Knocked down, backhander on net by Brown, turned aside by the goalie. And Blue Jackets able to force it out of the zone. They're going to pick it up there in the neutral zone. They've got possession now in our end. Taken away by Carson though. Sent forward, gets past Schuma, back into the Blue Jacket zone. Sent back in our end. Ross gets it up to Schuma. Blue Jackets with a takeaway there in the neutral zone. Going to be sent all the way down on net. Let's get some changes here. Blue Jackets once again on the attack. Pass through our slot. They could not connect. Here comes Mannion with it. Gets up to Hank. Cross ice to Ratcliffe. Couldn't connect. Ratcliffe gets it back to Ellenberg. Back to Ratcliffe. Tied up in the corner. And Blue Jackets will get a clear there. That's going to go for icing. Sent back in the Blue Jacket zone. And into our end, he's going to get a shot off. It's tied up there. Couldn't get anything on it. Blue Jackets maintain possession. That's dangerous. Forced in the zone there by Ross. He's tied up though. Puck comes to Irons. Tries to get it forward to, let's see, Castor picks it up. His shot turned aside by the goalie. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Brody picks it up there. It's across to Irons. Back to Brody. Up past Koenig. Blue Jackets pick it up there. Give it away though. Koenig sends it in the zone. Blue Jackets pick it up. Hart chips that in. Ross be the first one there. Centering pass. No one was home. Hart gets it up to Gross into the zone. His shot hits a leg and goes wide. Harp will pick it up in this near corner. Drops it for Larson. Peyton will pick it up. Back to Gross. Shot hits sticks and goes wide. Harp gets that back towards Mullenkamp. Tried to get it deep. It was gloved there by the Blue Jackets. Out to the neutral zone and back in the Blue Jackets in. Peyton's got it. That went right by the goalie. I'm not sure he was expecting that. Harp gets by a few guys. Loses the handle, but Peyton's there to pick it up. Across to Mullenkamp. That's in. That was Larson from Mullenkamp. Moses to the box here for roughing. Faceoff comes across in the corner. That'll do it for the second. Blue Jackets will possess off that face-off. A shot off there, bad angle. It's going to be controlled by Wyatt. Defensive zone face-off coming up. Blue Jackets will win that face-off and gain possession in our end. One timer goes wide there. Puck is loose and the Blue Jackets couldn't clean it up. They've regained possession. Shot is blocked there by Smith. By Smith there. Blue Jackets able to track it down though. Keep the pressure on. Got a block there. Ratcliffe will race to get there. Blue Jackets are able to pick it up though. We got a couple changes in. Hank there in the neutral zone. We needed to get that beat. Blue Jackets enter the zone. Harp there in the neutral zone. Goes back, looks for help. Blue Jackets send it out. Irons back to retrieve it. Leads it for Broad. Up to Peyton, on to Hart, into the zone. Mullenkamp gets it back to Peyton. On up towards Mannion. Hart now enters the zone with it. Feeds it to Mannion. His backhander's knocked down in front there by the goalie. Stoppage. The offensive zone face-off coming up. Blue Jackets came out of there with it. Peyton enters the zone. Back towards Gross. Centering pass there. Couldn't see what happened to the shot. Gross takes it away there. Tried to send that in deep. It got held up there at the blue line by the Blue Jackets. Eventually sent below the goal line. Gaka gets it up to Koenig. Ross got a stick on it. Goalie's going to cover that up. We'll get an offensive zone face-off coming up. Koenig got that back towards Ross. Got tied up though. Blue Jackets have it now. Coming our way. Pass was deflected. I think that was offsides. So neutral zone face-off coming up. Got that over to Gaka. Puck enters the Blue Jacket zone. They've got it. Stick there by Ross. Forces him back. Blue Jackets picked it back up. Koenig with a takeaway there to Gaka. Tried to connect with Castor. Blue Jackets take it away. Puck is sent deep. Cade plays that on up towards Ross. Forced back in by the Blue Jackets. Up comes to Gaka. Sent out of play. Puck got loose there in a dangerous area. Irons plays that up, got past Carson. Comes back in our end. Shots blocked by Irons. Puck's played forward and Shuma forces it out of the zone. Blue Jackets send it back in. Wyatt off to Irons. He gets it over to Brock. Brock's going to send that all the way up to Carson at the Blue Jackets blue line, back and forth, and they've got it. Brown to Carson, on to Shuma, and into the Blue Jacket zone. It comes out to Smith in the neutral zone, over to Gross. Over to Mannion, in, out of play. Ratcliffe off that face-off, and that puck enters the Blue Jacket zone off a Hank stick. Hank with the takeaway there, has the puck poked away. Ross able to keep it in there. Smith's shot goes high. Sent back towards the net by Gross, goes wide. Ratcliffe on the near wall. Blue Jackets take it away. Taken away by Hank. He skates it in, feeds it across to Noah. Backhander, turned aside by the goalie. Follow-up shot. Scrum. Hank gets it to Drayden, back to Noah. Ooh, that was high. Blue Jackets. Control it off that face-off. Met some resistance there in the neutral zone. They peel back. Harp with the takeaway. He's across towards Drayton. Up towards Peyton. Got by him. Enters the Blue Jacket zone. They're there to play it. Peyton with a takeaway there in the neutral zone. Enters, gets around two defensemen, and that's in the back of the net. Looks like that was fed from Larson. Comes back towards Irons off the face-off. Gets it over to Mullenkamp, forward to Peyton. Irons now picks it up in the neutral zone. Gets it over towards Hart. Larson, Mullenkamp, over towards Peyton. Got by him. Goes deep. Peyton comes out of the corner with it. Back towards Mullenkamp. Gets it down to Hart. Now to Peyton, shot goes high. Mullenkamp with a nice back check there. Irons with it now, coming through the neutral zone. Sends it in deep. Forces it on around. Koenig comes out of there with it. Fed from Ross. Ross with it now. Down to Castor, on to Koenig. Has it knocked off his stick. Castor picks it up. Back to Gross. Over to Brault. Shot turned aside by the goalie. And we got a stoppage. Blue Jackets with possession. Ross with a takeaway there. Sends it in the Blue Jacket zone. They picked it up though. Coming back our way. Now they turn it away. Ross up to Koenig. That's offsides. Blue Jackets win that face-off. Puck enters our zone. Castor now behind our goal. Over to Gross, up to Koenig. Blue Jackets take that away. Couldn't get the shot off there. Oh, good save by Wyatt there. Pad save. Castor's able to send that out of the zone. Ross with some pressure. Forces the Blue Jackets to peel back. A couple times. Sent in without control. Ross has it. He's going to send that up to towards Ross. Got by him. No icing there. Blue Jackets pick it up. Brown able to force that out of the zone. Blue Jackets will enter there, get shot. Played it to the near corner. Shima with the battle on the wall. Kept in there by the Blue Jackets. Puck comes back to Gaka. Over to Smith. Forward, past Brown. Carson sends that back in. Smith there to play it. Gaka up to Carson. He enters the zone. Across to Brown. Got by him, Shuma. Shot, knocked down by the goalie. Mullenkamp pinches there, sends it back on net. Turned aside by the goalie. Brown picks it up. His shot stings the goalie. Blue Jackets now coming our way. Puck sent deep by the Blue Jackets. Smith loses his footing. Brown's able to send that forward. Carson gets a stick on it. Got a shot off and went high and wide. Comes all the way back around towards Mullenkamp. Gets it to Hank on the far blue line. Looks like we might get a power play out of that. Comes to, let's see, Harp. Cross ice, Brown got a stick on it there. Comes to Irons on the blue line. Cuts to the middle. Gets it over to Peyton. Down to Harp. He's sent to the ice. And puck comes out to our end. Irons is back to retrieve it. Brown enters with possession, leaves it for Irons, sends it down. Couldn't connect with Larson there. That pass was intercepted. And Blue Jackets get a clear. Irons back. Gets it across towards Brown, got by him, and now here come the Blue Jackets. Larson through the neutral zone, gets it over to Hart, cross towards Peyton, drops it for Gaka, near corner to Hart, down to Larson, back to Gaka, his shot turned aside by the goalie, puck comes to Koenig, down to Larson, now down to Hart, Larson streaking towards the net, he gets a shot off, turned aside by the goalie, puck is loose, and Blue Jackets get it clear. That's off. Castor gets back to Gross, over to Gaka, back to Castor, into the Blue Jacket zone, leaves it for Ross, gets it over to Gaka, down to Gross. Back to Koenig, his shot goes wide. Castor gets it back to Ross. Now back to Castor. Right across towards Gross. His shot is blocked. Blue Jackets try to clear, kept in there by Koenig, and that's going to be a hand pass. And a timeout there by Columbus, I believe. In the Blue Jacket zone by Hart. Peyton picks up a loose puck in the neutral zone, sends it back in the Blue Jackets in. Brown with pressure. Brown forces him back deep. Momentarily enters the zone there. We got an empty net for the Blue Jackets. Sent out by Brown. In by the Blue Jackets. Wide will send that up towards the blue line. Kept in there by the Jackets. Gaka got a stick on that. That was played with a high stick. Play will continue. Puck comes in the zone. Chase is there. Out of the zone. Blue Jackets have to peel back. Blue Jackets will win that face-off. Well, he came back in. He's retreated to the bench, though, now. Jackets with, well, they just lost possession. That's going to be sent for icing off of Gross's stick there, so we get a defensive zone face-off. Gross in the corner, battle ensues. Puck comes out to the blue line, sent towards the net. Covered up by Wyatt there.